Thank you, Madam Chair. And again, thank you, Undersecretary Verdon and Secretary Granholm. I appreciate your being here today. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, I'd like to turn our conversation to Oak Ridge National Lab, which is the largest multi-purpose energy and research laboratory that the Department of Energy supports. It is a true gem of Tennessee. $5.6 billion of economic impact every year is the estimate. Some 34,000 jobs are supported by Oak Ridge National Lab in Tennessee, touching 50 of the 95 counties in my state. So it has an incredible economic impact, and I think a tremendous impact on advancing our nation in terms of basic research. Beyond the great work that happens in Tennessee on nuclear energy, which I look forward to working with you on, I'd like to talk for a moment about supercomputing. And one of the critical missions of Oak Ridge National Lab is the Summit supercomputer. It's the second fastest supercomputer in the world, and I'm very pleased that Oak Ridge is going to unveil this year an exascale computer called Frontier, which will be the fastest in the world, right in my home state of Tennessee. And we've talked about this before, Madam Secretary, but I'd like to join with my colleagues, Senator Blackburn and Congressman Fleischman, to invite you to come and visit us at Oak Ridge National Lab to see what's happening there and to deepen our working relationship so we can continue to make these advances. I hope you'll be able to find time in your schedule soon to join us there.
I would very much like to do that, especially with the unveiling of the exascale computer, and I know that that's scheduled for early fall, and I'm excited about seeing the incredible complex that's there.
Well, today the fastest computer in the world is in Japan, and I have a fondness for that nation, but also a highly competitive nature, so I'm delighted that we're going to retake the high ground on this. And given where the world is headed in computing, I think it's more than fitting that we be a leader in the world and that Tennessee be at the forefront there. Speaking of Tennessee, I'd like to share with you some insights from my predecessor, Senator Lamar Alexander. I know a good friend of the chair and many people on this committee. He's talked with me at length about what he's called the Oak Ridge Corridor. It's a way to capture the tremendous brainpower that exists in Oak Ridge and the surrounding area. In fact, when you land at the Knoxville Airport near Oak Ridge, it welcomes you as the gateway to the Smokies and to the Oak Ridge Corridor. It's something I think that we should market as an innovation hub. We have such incredible technologies. We draw from the federal government. We draw from my alma mater, Vanderbilt University, from the University of Tennessee, from the Tennessee Valley Authority, state and private industry. What I'd like to ask you is what role you see, Secretary Granholm, the department playing as we recreate innovation hubs like the Oak Ridge Corridor in a way that will support economic growth in underserved communities?
That is a great question. In fact, I was just on a call with all of the lab directors yesterday on this very subject.
Perfect.
Is how the labs and some are doing more of this and some are working on it, but how the labs can really connect. Whether it's you've talked about this as being a geographic hub, there may be some communities that are slightly outside of the immediate adjacency that are also underserved that could benefit. So one strategy, of course, involves workforce development. A lot of these labs are looking to develop that STEM pipeline and really want to be in the community to talk about the importance of science, technology, engineering, and math, both starting in high school through college, partnering with local colleges, and certainly partnering with the universities that are already there. So pipeline issues are one. Economic development, technology transfer from the labs to to perhaps sort of technology hubs that are related to lab, but could be using products that could be commercialized outside of the lab. So we have a fantastic new leader of our Office of Technology Transfer who is really focused on what are those opportunities to create perhaps incubators, either inside the lab structure or outside in adjacency, to be able to create a whole cluster of dynamic innovation, creating an innovation hub in an area that may be seen as often cloistered because it's inside of perhaps fencing, et cetera.
Well, may I extend our invitation to your head of Office of Technology Transfer to
Yes.
join us as well, because we're working very hard in Tennessee to try to create just that type of innovation hub, bringing the private sector together, transferring technology more efficiently. It's hard to do. It always has been hard to do, but if we can find ways to make it more efficient, more effective, I think it has a great potential in terms of leveraging the massive investment we're making in basic research and translating that into applied results that can make a real difference for our economy and keep America at the forefront of innovation.
So if, with your permission, I will have her reach out to your office to do a
Perfect.
briefing and discussion with you. Her name is
Perfect.
Vanessa Chan.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You.